Assassin's Creed Odyssey builds on the foundations of Origins, offering a massive RPG experience set in ancient Greece. You play as a Spartan mercenary, choosing between Cassandra or Alexios, with the story focusing more on the past than the modern-day Animus storyline. The game is filled with engaging side quests, environmental variety, and a massive world to explore, including naval combat reminiscent of Black Flag. However, the game can feel overwhelming with its grind and excessive loot, and the combat system, while improved, still has some issues with the parry mechanic. The game's beauty, character designs, and the meaningful impact of choices make it a strong adventure, though its technical performance on consoles, especially the frame rate, leaves room for improvement. If you liked Origins, you'll enjoy this one, though it may not convert new fans of the series. It's a massive action RPG with some flaws, but still impressive.
We have a great show for you here tonight. Alan Wake, one of my all-time favorite writers, and guests on the show.
Alan Wake 2 is a long-awaited follow-up that's worth the wait, especially if you're a fan of Remedy's past games like Control and Max Payne. It's a blend of single-player adventure, survival horror, and cinematic storytelling. Players control two characters, Saga Anderson, an FBI agent investigating eerie murders in a small town, and Alan Wake, trapped in a nightmarish version of New York. The game is challenging with limited resources, tense combat, and smart AI that keeps you on edge. Environments are beautifully designed, mixing creepy woods with atmospheric towns and surreal nightmare worlds. The flashlight mechanic adds tension, and the detective work in Saga's story is immersive. While newcomers may need some context, Alan Wake 2 excels with its thrilling gameplay, stunning visuals, and gripping narrative, making it possibly Remedy's best game yet. Astrobot is a 3D platformer that feels like a love letter to classic games, with tight controls, beautiful environments, and some really fun mechanics. Every level introduces something new, whether it's a cool power-up or a clever platforming challenge. The way the game uses haptic feedback makes it feel super interactive, and honestly, it's one of the best platforming experiences on PlayStation. The only downside is that it's not the longest game out there, but every moment of it is packed with fun. If you love games that are just pure joy to play, this one is for you.
Mark this. He's not just any monkey. He's a monkey of merit.
Black Myth Wukong is an action RPG that dives deep into Chinese mythology, letting you play as the Monkey King with crazy, shape-shifting abilities and powerful magic. The combat is intense and feels really satisfying, especially when you master the dodges and counters. I was really impressed by how smooth the animations are, making every move feel impactful. Visually, the game looks stunning with its detailed environments and fluid animations, which make every fight feel epic. But some of the enemy encounters can feel a bit repetitive after a while. Still, the storytelling and unique setting keep you hooked. If you love challenging action RPGs, this one is definitely worth checking out. Death Stranding is a really unique game, and I gotta say it was quite the experience. Some people might call it a walking simulator, and yeah, you do spend a lot of time trekking across this crazy landscape, but it's not just about that. You're like this delivery guy in a post-apocalyptic world where everything is super weird and you have to connect these isolated cities. It's kind of slow-paced, but it's also really beautiful and atmospheric with some crazy creatures and this really cool story about connections and stuff. The gameplay can be a bit repetitive, I guess, like you're always balancing your cargo and trying not to fall over, which can get a little old. but honestly, I kind of found it relaxing in a weird way, and the story kept me hooked. Plus, the online thing, where you can see other players' structures and stuff, is really cool. It's definitely not going to be for everyone, but if you're looking for something different and you don't mind a bit of a slower pace, Death Stranding might surprise you. Elden Ring is a massive, challenging open-world RPG that combines difficulty with an expansive world that encourages exploration. Players take on the role of a Tarnished, journeying through a land filled with conflict, mysterious characters, and tough boss battles. The game offers deep customization, allowing players to build their character with a variety of classes and abilities. Combat is deliberate with new features like a jump button and guard counterattacks. The open world, accessible through a mount called Torrent, offers tons of secrets to discover. Although it can be difficult and at times frustrating, the game rewards curiosity and offers freedom to explore at your own pace. The visuals are stunning, though some minor performance issues exist, especially on PC. Overall, Elden Ring feels like a game-changing evolution in the RPG genre, offering something for both newcomers and veterans alike.
And they will die in an unending curse.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth continues the epic adventure with stunning graphics and even more exciting twists and turns. The combat is a blast, mixing action and strategy to make each battle feel truly epic. Explore a massive world filled with bustling cities and dangerous dungeons while experiencing an emotional story that will stay with you long after the credits roll. It's awesome to see what happens to Cloud and his friends after they leave Midgar. While the game can feel a bit linear and some story choices might divide fans, the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is still an unforgettable experience. This thrilling adventure with amazing visuals and a captivating story is a must-play for any RPG fan. Metaphor Refantasio is a turn-based RPG that throws you into a massive fantasy world filled with kingdoms, war, and some really cool characters. The combat is pretty deep, mixing classic turn-based strategy with fast-paced mechanics, and the art style is absolutely stunning. The world feels alive, with a lot of unique locations to explore, and some great music that fits every moment perfectly. But I will say, the pacing can feel a bit slow at times, especially in the early hours. Some of the UI could also be a little more user-friendly, but once you get into it, the game really starts to shine. If you love deep RPGs with a strong story and amazing visuals, this one is definitely worth checking out.
Did you think this would please me? Being shown mercy?
Persona 5 Royal is a stylish and addictive Japanese role-playing game where you play as a high school student who leads a double life as a phantom thief. You'll spend your days attending one classes and hanging out with friends, but at night you'll infiltrate the minds of corrupt adults and steal their twisted desires to change their hearts. The game has a really cool anime art style with a catchy soundtrack that will get stuck in your head for days. The gameplay is a mix of dungeon crawling and turn-based combat with a unique social simulation element that lets you build relationships with your confidants and unlock new abilities. The story is long and engaging with lots of twists and turns that will keep you hooked until the very end. While Persona 5 Royal is a fantastic game, it can be a bit overwhelming at times due to its sheer amount of content, and some of the dungeons can feel a little repetitive, but overall it's an unforgettable experience that any JRPG fan should definitely play.
Ashley, run!
Resident Evil 4 Remake takes the survival horror masterpiece and elevates it to a whole new level with stunning visuals and modernized gameplay. Step back into the shoes of Leon S. Kennedy as he faces hordes of Ganados in a truly terrifying and immersive experience. The environments are incredibly detailed and atmospheric, from the eerie village to the imposing castle and the terrifying island.
One down.
The combat is intense and visceral with brutal melee attacks and satisfying gunplay that will keep you on your toes. You'll need to use every weapon in your arsenal and strategically manage your resources to survive the onslaught of enemies. The remake also introduces new features like side quests and expanded areas, giving you even more to explore and discover. This game is a thrilling and terrifying adventure that perfectly captures the spirit of the original while delivering a fresh and unforgettable experience.
What's the matter, Stray? Nothing left to lose?
Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is a challenging but rewarding action-adventure game from the creators of Dark Souls and Bloodborne. You play as a shinobi called Wolf, who is on a quest for revenge in a beautiful and mythical version of ancient Japan. Get ready for intense sword fights where you need to be fast and precise to deflect attacks and find the perfect moment to strike. The game has a unique grappling hook that lets you zip around the world and explore its secrets. You'll need to learn new skills and find powerful tools to defeat tough enemies and bosses. Sekiro is a tough game, but it's also fair, and overcoming its challenges is incredibly satisfying. If you like action games and aren't afraid of a little difficulty, then this game is a must-play. Silent Hill 2 Remake is a survival horror game that beautifully brings back the eerie world of Silent Hill with modern graphics and sound design. It captures the creepy atmosphere perfectly, making every corner feel unsettling. I really enjoyed exploring the detailed environments and solving the challenging puzzles. The emotional story still hits hard, and the improved voice acting adds to the experience. The combat is a bit clunky, but it didn't bother me too much because the focus is more on exploration and story. If you love psychological horror, this remake is definitely worth checking out. Space Marine 2 throws you right into the action-packed world of Warhammer 40K, where you play as a towering space marine named Titus. You'll use powerful guns and brutal melee attacks to fight hordes of Tyranids alien creatures that want to eat everything in their path. The action is intense and gory, with huge battles and epic boss fights that will test your skills. The game looks amazing with detailed environments and awesome special effects that really bring the Warhammer universe to life. You can even team up with friends to fight the Tyranid threat together in co-op mode. If you like action-packed games with big guns and even bigger enemies, then Space Marine 2 is definitely worth checking out.
Fistmen have fled through the building. Eliminate them.
Marvel's Spider-Man 2 swings onto the PlayStation 5 with even more action and a darker story than before. This time, you get to play as both Peter Parker and Miles Morales with new abilities and suits to try out as you web-sling across an expanded New York City.
Is that a Higgs field? That's actually really cool.
The combat is more brutal and fluid, with new enemy types and challenges to keep you on your toes. Explore a larger map with new districts and iconic landmarks and face off against classic villains like Venom and Kraven the Hunter. The story dives deeper into the relationship between Peter and Miles as they face their greatest threat yet. While the game can feel familiar at times, and the pacing can be a bit uneven, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is still a thrilling superhero adventure with amazing web-swinging action and a gripping story. It's a must-play for fans of the first game and anyone who loves Spider-Man. Stellar Blade is an action RPG set in a futuristic world, and it's all about fast-paced combat and exploring beautifully designed environments. The visuals are absolutely stunning, and the combat feels smooth and satisfying, especially with all the cool moves and combos you can pull off. I really enjoyed the boss fights, which were challenging but not unfair, and they kept me on my toes. However, the story felt a bit shallow, and I didn't connect much with the characters, which was a little disappointing. Still, if you love action games with great visuals and fluid combat, it's definitely worth checking out. It's one of those games that's just fun to play even if the story isn't the strongest.